The way you make love, sweet darling. That ain't the way you make love. You've been turning around uptown with some fancy clown, with some fancy clown. You've been turning around uptown with some fancy clown, with some fancy clown. I hear you in the background.
One of the unusual things about this group is that each guy in the group can lead. Any guy in the group can do it.
Straight out the Ville. It's the Back Alley Fellas podcast.
They said we could never make it. They said
Still ain't got it bumping. In the back alley. Taking shots of whiskey and only go.
What's up? Peace and blessings. What's going on, family? We back. Yo, the Back Alley Fellas podcast. We here, 23rd stand up. Your host, Mike D, Brother Six, Big Pat. We always in the building. We want to salute everyone. First time, last time. Listeners, hey, come on, man. Stay with us. For those that continue to rock with us, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. Again, we always say, tell a friend, tell another friend to join into this beautiful triune that we call the Back Alley Fella podcast. Big Pat, how you doing, black man?
Hey, man. Any day above every day. I'm doing well. The pleasure. Food truck doing well. I'm healthy.
Yes.
Doing good, man.
Happy belated birthday, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All honors to the Most High.
Indeed.
And shout out to my partner, Fat Blood, Reggie, and his. And we love y'all. We miss you, homeboy.
Yes, indeed. Brother Six, what's up with you, brother?
What's up, God? On the day that the God was born to him, born day is yours. Celebrated it well, man. We had a great time, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the Ville, man. To Fat Blood and his family, to you two brothers, and any day above ground's a good day. Y'all know that. So I just wanted to tell somebody to tune in and watch us and see what you can get. How you doing, Mike?
Brother, I'm doing swell. You know what I mean? Again, we always say that we always got to keep our brother Reggie Smith alive. That's how we continue to keep him going. Blessings to his family, his beautiful daughters, his wife, his sisters, everyone, nieces, nephews, all of that. We love you. So our 23rd Street crew, salute. To Louisville, stand up. South Carolina, stand up. Naptown, stand up. Everybody stand up, to keep doing what you're doing. And we just here, man. I'm enjoying life and getting ready for, Turkey Day. P&J Turkey. If y'all in South Carolina, if you in Columbia, South Carolina, you need to check out P&J Turkey and more. Listen,
Yeah.
Delicious.
Had some when I was down there, but they posted some smoked turkey wings. They got that turkey, what was that? That turkey
Rib.
Alfredo.
About that. Yes,
That
sir.
turkey
Yeah,
Alfredo that you got. Yo, yo, delicious. Those brothers get busy. So not only do we do podcasting, but those brothers also get busy in their kitchen. So if you're in the Columbia, South Carolina area, please check out P&J's Turkey and More. You will not be disappointed, for sure. And I know we got Brother Pat is working on his doctorate. So we shout out to you.
Yes,
know
sir.
you and
brother.
got some stages to go. Book, you say you sent that off and waiting on that to come back. So we look forward to we're waiting on that to come out. And I know you'll talk a little more about that. And then I'm looking forward to being able to hopefully announce in a couple of days, maybe next week, something like that. Wife getting that minority business certification.
Congrats.
So that'll be big, and we'll talk a little bit about what they're doing and just some good things, So it's always a blessing. Like you said, any day above ground is always a blessing. So with that, you know what we do. We got our traditions before we get into our topic. So we want to know what's in your cup.
Yeah.
Big Pat,
what you drinking on?
What you got going on today?
Top shelf today, baby. Top shelf.
Hey.
Grey Goose and cranberry. Grey Goose.
Hey.
Can't get loose if you ain't got that goose.
Oh, watch it. Peanut butter and jelly. Brother Six, what you got, bro?
I got a strawberry Moscato. What I'm drinking on.
Look at
with
you.
With a dip of cranberry.
Look at him. He trying to drink. He trying to drink like he's sexy and stuff. He trying to bring sexy. Strawberry Moscato. Well, man, I'm drinking good old Goldberry Body Armor. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Coconut water.
What?
Yeah, man, it's a good drink, bro. It's a good drink, man. I'm telling you, I should get on this. Better than Gatorade, man. Kobe invested in this. No, Kobe invested in this joint, and Coke is about to buy him out for 400 mil. So it was a great investment. Left it to his family, but it's really good though.
I was trolling on him, Pat.
Hey, no. Hey, listen, Kobe, my guy. I didn't know that, but it's even a bonus. So that's what I'm drinking on. That being said, let's get into our libations. Pat, kick us off, brother.
All right, bottles, glasses, cups that are plastic. Alleyways backwards, perfection takes practice. Friendship turn kinship, 2/3 of the street dynastic.
Brotherhood in the neighborhood. This podcast is going to be a classic. A divine state of mind. Our movement subline. On the rocks, brother, give me something strong.
I can give y'all two elixir, a slice of lime. Put your drink up. Now let's link up. It's nothing but love in this atmosphere. Peace and salutations, brothers and sisters, the fellas. We in here. Cheers.
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 That Grey Goose is something that ain't nothing to play with, boy.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Yeah, I didn't even touch that tonight, Mike. At Grey Goose, I left that dude alone.
Man,
I drink that old house vodka.
That's it.
At Grey Goose, I get the top shelf. I won't know how to act.
Right.
I wouldn't know how to act.
Hey,
I heard some good news. I heard some good news and disturbing news, but I don't know how to put it. But I'm pretty sure, Pat, you probably heard something out of the back alley. You got any news?
Yeah. I heard it's a subject that has been overlooked for the last few years, but it's still alive and it's going around. We're talking about bullying.
Oh yes.
When I say bullying, I want to say more specifically in the schools, and it's really happening.
Okay.
So before we start out on some statistics.
Okay.
So coming from and you all can go, anybody that's watching or listening can go to www.stopbullying.gov, and they give some pretty alarming statistics. About 20% of the students between 12 and 18 experience bullying. Nationwide, 15% of the students in grades 9 through 12 reported being bullied on school property. in a 12-month period. And then it's kind of looking, and one thing that, and I won't go over all statistics, but one thing that did stand out to me, 42% of the bullying that they experienced was done in the actual classroom.
Mm. I don't know if you had a chance to look at, because I looked at some of those statistics as well, and what was even more alarming was those that were in the LGBTQ plus community. Their numbers are even more alarming when it comes to bullying. And I was like, oh, goodness gracious.
Surprisingly enough, it's more males being bullied than females too.
Yeah,
that was alarming to me. I seen those statistics.
But now, Six, I might be on this topic. I might be the one that go left, because I was having a conversation with my wife and we were talking about this very subject. And there's a number of different ways that I think we could go on this. This is one of those deep rabbit holes. But Pat, I know that you were having this initial conversation. So if you want to kick that off, I know you kicked off some statistics, but like just take us to where you was where you were walking with.
Well, a good friend of my wife gave us a call the other night. Of course, I won't say any names, but a friend of hers, daughter, is in high school, and she was touched inappropriately by a man.
What grade was she in, Pat?
She's, I think she's a freshman or a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
She didn't tell the school. She went home and told her mom. Reported it to the school and the board. They investigated it, and the young man was expelled. Okay, probably rightfully so. Based on what he did, I'm not sure exactly what he did, but evidently the board and the school felt it was bad enough to expel the young man.
Sure.
Soon afterwards, before she could even get back to school, several females started creating fake pages and hitting Instagram, social media, Facebook, and
another
calling her name and threatening her and telling her they were going to kill her and do all these different things. So now the young lady's even scared to go back to school. Well, the mom went back to the school, talked to the school, the resource police officer, everybody, and they're basically, if I paraphrase it, they're basically saying it's so many students. What do you want us to do? You know, expel everybody and everybody. So they're really not going to do anything. Well, last I talked to my wife's friend, the mother was taking it to the Board of Education. So I don't know the outcome of that, but I just, it just struck me because I kind of forgot about bullying with all that's going on in the world and the pandemic and everything that's going on. I forgot about, especially now with the cyberbullying, with the internet and social media. I'm sure it's really bad now.
Different route.
Go ahead, Six.
On that last remark that you made about forgetting about it, and for our listeners, he didn't forget that bullying doesn't exist. He just forgot about it in a sense of, and I'll give my testimony on bullying. When I was younger and I went to Brandeis Elementary, there were older guys. There was this quadruple brothers that lived in the area, and in the school, they would pick on me. But back then we didn't consider it bullying. We just figured, you get your ass whooped. Your mom either gonna make you go back and fight, or somebody in the neighborhood gonna make you go back and fight them. Well, it just happened to be four of these brothers. So I had a choice to stand there and fight and get my ass whooped and jump by the four brothers, or I could run. So I used to run from Brandeis all the way home because I didn't have a chance. But that made me a stronger and a better person, because not only did I recognize it,
Why made you faster?
I played football very well, and at the end of this story, I'm gonna wrap it up with what you just said. I finally got them back, and it was during football that I was bigger, better, and faster in football, and that was my way of getting back. Well, it turns out that all four of us, I ain't seen them in years. We're good friends now, but that's the part that you've forgotten about, because when we did it, we fought and we lived to tell about it another day. And we became good friends, like most of us did. So the bullying back then was the same, but it was quite different for us if you would look at it from the point of view that we fought We got our ass whooped, or we wanted to fight, and we was friends the next day, or became best friends throughout life. Now you just don't have that no more. You have the suicide rate that's going up. And Mike, when you mentioned there's so many avenues to this subject, man, it's very heartfelt that we do tackle this, because it is a serious problem. Because back then we wasn't killing ourselves, brother, because what somebody said.
Well, we don't know, because we didn't have the social media. We didn't have the ability to know what somebody was doing.
Within our own community, though, within our own community, in my school, I'm pretty sure those brothers was taking plenty of lunch money. They didn't have to.
Yeah. So, but
and we didn't hear about that at Brandeis. Nobody killing themselves at a young age too.
Well, no, I get what you're saying.
Yes.
But here's where I'm gonna go with it. It's the same. It's on the same line. But our biases kind of stand in our way because we think of it from our perspective. And we used to joan on one another and different things like that. And so, sometimes you laugh it off, even if it was tearing you up inside, but what
just jonesing on me before this podcast started. That hurt my feelings.
Oh, then. but one of the things that I know for a fact, and I've seen it with several people, is the impact that words, not just from people, but the words, actions from adults in authority and adults just in general and other young people, the impact that people made young people, and they live with that in their adult age. Like there's people that literally will tell some folks, I know someone that told my wife not too long ago, a young lady, she was like, you were one of the only people that when I was going through school or whatever, that always treated me kindly, that always treated me nice, but had a horrible experience, you know what I'm saying, coming up. And it sticks with them. And what ends up happening is that those things form them as human beings, and they take those things into relationships. And if you got some people, you know what I'm saying, and we talked about, and this all ties into protecting Black women and things of that nature, and abuse and everything, because then you got broken people dealing with all these different things, and it ties in. So one of the things, and the reason why I was going to say was that, a lot of women, and we was all wild in our days, so ain't nobody trying to act like we were perfect and no stretch of form of imagination, but there are so many young girls that experience some horrible things at such young ages, and they are afraid to say anything because they know if that person has any social capital in anything, basketball player, football player, popular in school, and they come out and they maybe are not the only one, but they the one person that leaves it out, what's going to happen to them.
And I think that's what happened with this young lady.
Yeah. And so
famous person.
Well, popular.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so so you think about it, and I apologize. I stand on it that many times in the past when I've seen news flashes of celebrities or whatever, or people that I like because I like whatever they bring to the table as artists or athletes or whatever, and these things happen, you'd be like, oh man, why they wait? And the reason is because they know if I just say this, the hell that I'm gonna go through, it ain't even worth it. So they live their life full of all of this. And when it finally comes out, we still want to side on this side and not with the victim, because, and I don't know the percentage, my wife had told me, and this was but like, let's say 8 or 9 out of 10, or maybe 8 out of 10 women that claim sexual assault rate are telling the truth. It's like the percentage of people that actually lie is so small that when we act like, oh, they probably lying, we lying to ourselves. It's cognitive dissonance. That's not what it shows. Pat even knows when we talk about the domestic, we know that when we talk about 40%, that's just people that report. We know a large majority of it is probably 60, 70%.
Right. Yeah.
Because people don't report. So we know the numbers are actually really higher. So when we talk about this bullying, I've seen adults go through some shit, man, take to drugs, alcohol, all kind of things just to deal with the things that were going on. And it's unfortunate, man. And we gotta do some of it. It's all about, we talk about protected community. We gotta do better, man.
You know what's sad is all states have an anti-bullying, some form of anti-bullying legislation. But it's almost like it never gets to, a lot of the times it never gets to law enforcement, so the laws don't matter. Does that make sense?
It makes all perfect sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to have anti-bullying legislation if it's getting covered up either by other adults or by
that's true.
Peer pressure, so it's not coming out. Whatever the reason that it's not getting raised to a level where the law is involved, then it's almost a waste of time to have a law.
The bad part about it is, and that's again, to our listeners and viewers, whether you're being new or old, that is the reason, it is the main reason, let me correct myself, it is the main reason for this podcast. And I think the biggest thing we can do about this situation with bullying is first, be well educated. And then second, do what we're doing on this podcast. We have to talk about this. If you're getting bullied, and just like Mike was saying, and you followed up with never making it to the law, if you're not telling somebody because you're scared when it starts, it's hard to deal with it. And then you can flip it though. And my sympathy's out for those that are afraid to tell, because bullying these days, and now we can see it because of social media, ain't like it was back in the day.
Right.
When you're getting bullied now, they bringing knives, guns, all of this stuff to school, and they're seeing it. So when that person that's bullying them tell them, give me your lunch money, it ain't like it was back in the day.
But even beyond that, that is not, I would venture to say that somebody would rather maybe sometimes take that than to have hundreds of thousands to millions of people view an embarrassing photo or your name and it's in the ether. You see what I'm saying? Like you could get bullied, you could get embarrassed or bullied, and it could be in your school or in your classroom or something like that. And we're not, all of it is bad. But now it can spread so far, and it can be so far reaching, and it can hit you in everything, and you feel like you don't have anywhere to go. But I was going to ask y'all, what is our responsibility as men? What is our responsibility as parents to create the safe space, the psychological safe place that we create the culture in which, because see, Black people, and I'm focusing on our people because that's who we are. We got this thing about, we got to decide what we gonna consider our culture and some of the things that we gravitate to, because we got a tendency to celebrate ignorance. You know what I'm saying? And being upright and righteous is seen as being corny or not the thing to do. So we tend to applaud it, and anybody that goes in and does that time, whatever, like salute, do what you got to do. But we give more credence to that than the person that came up in the community and did it a different way. Did it a way where they just went out and got that. Now, like I was reading something, I'm gonna see if I can find it, but in a nutshell, what and it was attributed to Safari, the little the guy that's the social media star whatever the case might be. And he had this quote, and again, I don't know if it was him, but he said, social media got 22-year-olds wanting to off themselves because they don't make 6 figures and drive a 7 Series. Shit is terrible. Got women thinking if you can't afford a Chanel bag, you're doing bad in life, and offer them nothing. Got dudes thinking a good 9 to 5 is slavery. Nobody likes their body. Nobody likes their home. Just a mass group of people wanting what others have or pretend to have. And he was like, my childhood, he said, it's like we got this facade that if you get it out the mud, you know what I mean? Like it's bad. And we create this culture. So we don't have a culture where people feel safe to come in. What young girl, where do they go? Where do the young girls go? Where do the women go that are being violated, that have had some things that go on to them? Who do they turn to that's going to believe them and stand up for them, or at least protect them? Where do they go? Where do they go? And if they ain't got a spot, that's shame on us. And so what do we do? What should we do, Pat? How do we change this?
I think, like Brother Six said, generating the conversation. I think with like this podcast and talking to friends, with this incident with the young lady, I actually called a buddy of mine that's a detective, and got some advice from him, and then we passed it on for what they should do. So I think we need to stand up more. We need to be more visual and vocal on a lot of these situations to let the younger people know that we stand by them, and that the victims or the people that have been victimized know that they have a support system. But I think the biggest thing is getting it out there, and we start discussing like the mental issue thing we talked about in the Black community, and all the different issues that we're talking about on this podcast. I think it's just great that we're at least generating the conversation. So I think that's where I start.
What do you brothers think about the group of men that are in, I think it's Louisiana, don't quote me, I'm not sure where I heard of that, but it's been a couple of weeks, where 15 to 20 dads, that went to the school, and now they're standing in guarding their own communities and standing up. I think it's a good idea. I don't know how they formed. I think they just got up one day and said, we're going to the school, and if you touch my child or anybody else in this village, you're going to have to answer to us. So,
they had a bunch of fights. They had several fights there, so it had gotten out of hand, and so
that's what it was.
And so I had said this a while back, because there was a school and they had a thing, and I was trying to figure out how, from a local political thing, how you could create a mechanism to get more men into the school, whether it be is offering tax incentives or things of that nature, for men to be able to take off for work, or to form these kind of coalitions, to be in there, to get involved, because that's really what needs to happen. And we got to be able to create these spaces, or these town halls with parents to really talk about this, because I think it's one thing, when we having this conversation, it's another thing to really confront the people that are doing these things and saying, okay, so check this out. Young girl makes an accusation. They do the investigation. They see on camera that the young man actually does something that warrants him being suspended or expelled.
Right.
Now, okay, it's friend, it's popular, it sucks. Maybe they could have suspended him. Maybe they could have did some other things. That's the school's decision. But when did it become the thing that now young girls are turning on another girl that was violated and touched? Like if we just break that down,
It's disturbing.
Yeah, that's disturbing. Like, wait a minute now. Hold on. And if you bring it to the parents, I'm gonna give y'all the benefit of the doubt that y'all don't know.
Well,
but how do we stop this? Because that could be your friend, but he was in the wrong. So when do we chastise and when do we do something to this person and not the victim? When do we hold this one? Because I can tell you what, it don't make no difference. Guess what, Pat? She already tore up from the flow up from this incident alone.
Yeah.
She's scarred.
But you know, it comes back to a couple other conversations we had. For one, I think it was Sister Dora was talking about how nowadays nobody cares about nothing. The old church ladies used to walk down the street and stop what they was doing because of respect. So the respect level is different. These generations now feel like that they automatically get respect without earning it, and they don't feel that they have to give it. But I'm gonna say something, and again, I don't mean this negatively towards anyone. This is just my opinion. But it comes back to another conversation again that we had is about the organizations. Because you asked, what can we do? Where are the churches? You know, why don't they stand up and help some of these issues? Where are the Masons? Where are the Nation of Islam? All of these organizations that are supposed to be for our community, where are they at when a lot of this stuff happens?
I think they do. You know, I'll be the angel's advocate. I believe that in many ways they do within their confines. I think that they do. But I think
how
that
you don't see it though. If they
what is
confined?
Well,
you know,
I'm saying within
the 60s, you saw it.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. I think that there are outreach programs and churches that do a lot of things, and they try to do that. Where I think that the biggest issue is, so I don't have a disagreement as a whole. I think that everybody, let me put it like this. I remember when I was doing some stuff with Day Springs homeless shelter, and I was like, yo, this is important. This is important. And it wasn't until I kind of stepped away from it and there were other things that came on that I don't believe that that's not important, but there's something else that has now caught my eye. And so because I only have so many hours in the day, what is it? What's your focal point? There may be initiatives in an organization that we're focusing on this and this. That's where we're going to put all our manpower and whatever doing this. And that's what they do. Not that these things are not important, but these are the avenues. And so sometimes we got to find everybody to try to fill in those gaps, because, you know, just like with anything, there's certain organizations that say, okay, these are our national things that come down, and these are the things that we're going to focus in on this year, our endeavors that we do every year, and then these certain things that we're going to do, and that's what they focus on. And so if everybody has that, bullying or something like that might be there, but some people might be trying to feed people, and that's the focus that they go on. And so it's going to take us and others to go in there and do a holistic perspective on that. So there's some that don't do it.
Well, you know, I look at the whole thing as you know, to kind of weigh in on what should be done or what can be done. And this is just me personally also speaking from the heart. It should be a harsher punishment if there's a thing, because, you know, some of these things, whether it be cyber, home, school, office, it all kind of, you know, harassment, all those kind of things kind of tie in together. But it's bullying these days. It leads to death, man. If you bully somebody these days, it ain't like it used to be. Like what you said, we don't know about it. But from what in my community, I didn't hear about anybody killing themselves because they was bullied. These days, you see it and you hear about it. So that's like premeditated murder, man. It's like you should be charged. You should get 5.
But think about it.
5 to 10 years.
But 6. We might not. They might not have been committing suicide at a clip. And even now, the suicide percentage is not as large. You know, I was reading some and they were like, we don't want to have that correlation. However, self-medication, drugs, alcohol. So the potential for that young man or woman where they had dreams of being this, that bullying, those things got them off course. So when they started going to try to get outside of themselves, not to feel numb. And so now that's the neighborhood crack head or dope fiend or whatever, and they might have overdosed at some point.
Murdering, or they done gone back, they got bullied so much, they tired of it, and they coming back.
So it's an epidemic of I think that we don't see each other as human beings anymore. And I don't know if we ever did. We don't value some of the things that we used to value.
At all.
And in some form of we got to get back to that. We got to take back that part of that community, because it's really unfortunate, and I'm afraid that we're going to look up somewhere in the distant future and we're going to have a lot of continued broken relationships, because we're going to have a whole lot of broken young women and young men that have went through some shit and they ain't never told nobody. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna just be trying to deal with it.
Problem right there. It's almost damn impossible to, like you said earlier. That's an interesting point, because I'd said, with this podcast, we trying to just start the conversation on, mom or dad or friend or whatever. It is this guy or this girl that's at work that's touched me, or I'm feeling threatened, or any kind of way. How do you, as a young person, that that this guy is part of a gang, and every time when you go out that gate, you being checked, you got to go a different way home, or you can't go back to that school no more, or you don't want to get your peers and you don't want to get your mom and dad involved because he's a gangster and he's gonna come through and shoot up your house and do something to your grandmother or your little smaller brother or sister or your older brother. What do you do? I know there's toughness. Like, now you start to feeling like, I don't even belong here in this place. Where do I fit in? I got this person, I can't tell nobody, what should I do? So I'm going to handle this myself. And, the only way I can protect myself is go get me a gun. It ain't fighting no more. It ain't going back and standing up for your rights and whatever you got to go through, or reporting it to your boss or the HR, or telling your church member, or go and get a brother off the corner that's with the nation or with the Israelites, or, to try and help this sister or brother, to help them through this. It's very hard, but, it's got to start somewhere. And at a young age, you have to, this just goes all the way back to the way we treat our children too, Mike. I remember you saying that back in the day, we just, shut up, don't be running your mouth, instead of having those children to explain to us what is the problem. And now we're stuck with this generation who don't know how to verbally discuss what's going on in their lives, on top of the pressure coming from those outside entities that's being bullied, on online. You see it on TV. It's just all around you, and there's no solid way to handle this problem, and it's going to get worse. Like you said, in the near future, I think we're just a road, man. It's going to be hard to tackle, because if us three had children in the high school and we did what those brothers did, how much help would we have? How many of those students going to ride or die for what they believe in if it's none of our business? Or, oh, gee, you don't want this smoke.
I think you're going to have some, but that may relegate. But I think all kids look for structure. And I think just those men that popped up were able to control, because what they saw was Black men that they know, that maybe they're familiar with. And it's similar to, Pat, both of y'all playing sports in high school and you in college, Pat, you know how when you were on a team and, you were wilding out in class or school or whatever, and they'd be like, here go coach. And you'd be like, hey, what's going on, coach? Patrick, what you doing? I'm on my way to play. You straighten up immediately. Why? there was a certain respect back, and that still holds true to this day. It still holds true to this day, is that there are positions, there are things that we could do. We just got to be about doing it, and just laying that out on the line and being there and really listening to them young people. Like, be like, yo, man, what's up? What you doing, man? And you going, and then turning those people into saying, I remember Dad said that he was in class, and with his first time subbing, he went in and walked in and said, they was in there wilding. He walked up and said, who the toughest cat in this classroom? And everybody was laughing, and this one big dude just stood up and was like, I am. He said, come here, let me see you outside. He took him outside. He said, I give you an A for the day if you keep everybody in check. He was like, say less. He went in there, hey, y'all did it, because he was the toughest dude in the class. You know what I'm saying? And he got everybody on point. And sometimes you got to use that. Like we older, we smarter, we got more wisdom. We got to use the playbook. We know them. They don't know more than we do. So we gotta get on there and say, hey man, I'm looking for you, because something my wife said, some of these individuals know their status, and they know they can get away with things because they are popular. Because we a football or a basketball school, I know I can get away with whatever I want to, and they ain't gonna say nothing, because they gonna do it on you. But we got to be the ones to say, man, if you give me 50, that could have been my daughter, and if it was mine, you would be running to the police like I did it. Lock me up, please, lock me up, because he about to kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm gonna get somebody gonna get touched, somebody gonna get hurt. If it ain't you, everybody is touchable. Grandmama, them, everybody, you gonna feel this pain too. You're not just gonna, like, then after you feel pain, then we can come to some reconciliation. We can see if we wanna pray together. But I ain't praying until after you feel that pain too. I'm sorry, listeners. That might not be the right thing to say, but I'm just giving you facts. And when we all feel that way about all children, so when any child is in your presence, they your child, then we'll get to a point where we like, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying we throw, unless it's something egregious that they do, we throw them away. But we gotta be able to, you know, I remember reading something where they talked about, and again, I don't know how true the story was. It's like in the African village, they would sing a song, you know what I'm saying? And they talked about how the woman wanted to be pregnant, and so the elders told them to and I'm paraphrasing the story, to sing a song, to go sit by the tree and meditate and sing a song. And so they sung a song. She sung a song, and then she would sing the song, and then she met a man and she taught the man the song, and then they got pregnant. So she would always sing the song, and the husband would sing the song. And so in the community, the family would sing the song. And at some point, when the child was born, people would sing this song. And so everywhere that child would go, they would sing that song. You see what I'm saying? And it tied them to the community. And when that child didn't do right, they shunned that child to the point where that child felt shame about what they did. But they didn't forget about them. They gave the child recourses and provisions on how you can make this right. But you got to go through some things to prove yourself worthy. Right. But and when you come back, we gonna sing that song to you, because we're gonna remind you, you are ours. And there's a what we got to get to. There's a culture here. There's some stipulations. There's some things that we must do. We must protect our Black girls, our Black boys. We must protect our children. We must protect our elders. We got to respect. Like, we got to get back to that. Like, these are things that there's no compromise on that. If you doing that, we going to war. It's just like, if you can't get with it, we'll give you a way out. But if you so adamant, then we got to go to war to see who's going to get. But we got to protect our community because there's bigger people, there's bigger entities that we got to fight against. And so I know we kind of shifted and went through a lot of different things. Was there any other things, Pat, that you wanted to share, or statistics or anything like that?
No, I was just trying to look up what the statistics were in the Black community for bullying.
I was trying to, I did the same as well. I looked at a couple of different things, and so it says, so bullying of students of colors, I have 23% of African American students, 23% of Caucasian students, and 16% of Hispanic students, and 7% of Asian students reported being bullied at school. More than 1/3 of adolescents reported bullying, based on school bullying.
What Brother Six said, it's true though. A lot of times they become violent. I'm sitting here looking there and talking about a student in the Bronx that was reported had been bullied over and over and over. He came back and he ended up stabbing 2 classmates. But it also happened back home recently. About a month or 2 ago, there was a young man that brought a gun to, I think it was Iroquois High School. But when the story broke, it broke that the guy came to school with the gun. But when all the layers of the onion was peeled back, he had been bullied for months. Mother had went to the school, had talked to the school. There was
That's the problem.
Young men that were bullying him, and it got to the point where they were getting violent with him. So he brought the gun
to protect himself.
He ended up shooting one of them, shooting in the classroom. He shot one of them, and but it came down to, he was wrong, of course, for bringing the gun. But when you report it, you do the right thing. Your parents
failed them. We failed them as a community.
They failed
all of those kids as a community.
To bully him, and he got to a point where when they started getting violent, it was 4 of them.
Life was threatened. Yeah.
He didn't know what else to do, especially in these days and times when people got guns and knives. He didn't know what else to do. So although it's wrong,
would say, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
And look, let me tell you what happened. So he fled to school. He ended up going home. They got a lawyer, and the family turned him in. He turned himself in, and the whole story came out. So of course they got a later court date. He still got to go to court because he brought the gun to school.
Yeah.
But the family didn't have enough money to pay for, a good lawyer. So they did a GoFundMe page, and within a short amount of time, it raised like $4,000 or $5,000. GoFundMe and/or people in the city ended up taking the page down because they said he's the one that brought a gun to school. So they wouldn't even let him raise money for his defense.
Well, I mean, Cal, there were people that killed people, and were able to raise funds. So that's but that's different ways. But again,
right,
it's looking at it from the perspective and see that's the problem that I have with our culture, with our society as a whole, is that we after the fact we want to get our self-righteous, but it's like, again, when you peel back the onion and you say, yeah, it was wrong. But before it got to that level, they went through all the steps.
He reported it. Not only did he report it to his parents, he reported it to the school himself. And it came to the school and talked to the school,
and so
to the resource officer.
Right. And so all of that happened. And it took this for you to say, to
bring the attention to the case.
So somebody got shot or killed, whatever. This other child's life is ruined because you never stepped up and you never made it safe for everyone deserves to be in a hostile-free, harassment-free environment. Period. Point blank. Right. We got to create that. We got to get back to that. And if you out of order in that, then you out of order, and we don't want you in our community.
Yeah.
Period.
The other bad part about that too, fellas, is, and I'm gonna stay on the student side that's getting bullied. This young man or young lady is getting bullied. And one day he made up their mind that, you know what, I'm tired of this, and I'm gonna whoop his ass or her ass. I'm gonna see him in the hallway, and we're gonna square up. The sad part about that is, if the bully gets his ass whooped, what do you think is gonna happen when he leaves the school on his way home? You can't fight no more, because you know if you square up, you're gonna have to kill that person. There ain't no in between. Ain't no stabbing or beating him half to death or sending him to the hospital or breaking his knees. You're gonna have to kill that individual, and we all know it. That is a fact.
It's funny you said that, because the backstory on that was also, it came out that the original beef was with one of the little boys, and it happened back in the summer before school started, and the dude that was bullied beat up the other boy. So it was over with, it was done, school started. The other boy that got beat up got his friends, and they started threatening and bullying this other little boy. So it all came down to two kids that squared up, and one lost back in the summer, but he couldn't let it go. He probably didn't see the young man again until school started. Then he got his friends. Now they want to jump him. But
because
you
walked
away, you should have took your loss.
Because he got his ass whooped.
Well, you know, you got this Braveheart attitude, and you got people. See, you got this. We talked about this. All ties in. You got this music. You got this entertainment. You got everything that tells you. I ain't never lost. I ain't never lost a fight. I always win. I got the stick man with me every time I go. Like, you ain't never lost. I ain't never met a person that ain't never lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't never took a L. You ain't never had one put on you, and you had to eat that. You see what I'm saying? And so now it's like I gotta prove, because it's social media. Now if it's caught, now it can go million. So now my persona is touched, and they don't understand. You go on, you live, you grow from that. And unfortunately, these young people, and hell, some of these old people don't understand. Like, man, it ain't that serious, man. But you understand.
You probably thought about that the whole summer and couldn't wait till school got in.
Right. Yeah. Because they got the
instead of just, you know, just live and probably was getting bullied to man, you better do something. Man, you can't rep our neighborhood. Like, what neighborhood you talking about? We throw a 23rd because we love our community. We loved our neighborhood. But listen, all them houses is gone. I don't own nothing on that block.
Yeah.
So I rep it because it represented family. It represented community. It represented the brothers who I love dearly, the people that I love dearly that helped raise me. That's why we rep 23rd Street. That's it. It ain't because I'm making money off that block. Now, if I own property, it'd be something different. I have the people's on here in a minute. But my thing is that when we talk about owning and controlling, like, come on, y'all, let's get serious. I'm saying we creating a situation where young women they afraid of us. They feel unprotected. We got young boys that feel like they don't, like we gotta get a hold of ourselves, because we killing ourselves from within. And we easy pickings for anybody. And I know it happens in other communities as well. And so we conscious of that. We're saying bullying across the board is a no. It's a zero tolerance. And we gotta be conscious, because again, I'm conscious of the words that adults say, and that's something we need to talk about. People in positions of power, coaches, teachers. You ain't gonna be, you don't know what words you say that affect young people. And be like,
never know
man,
what
they
they're
told
going
me,
through.
Forget that. What it looked like when you say, I want to be this, and some adult tell you, you ain't gonna be that.
Right.
You can't be that. You ain't got it in you.
Your mama wasn't shit.
Well,
your family ain't shit.
those that are listening, just remember that
the
the overall message we're putting out is that this thing can be stopped we can start making a change in our community. And if you really want some more information again on bullying, again, you can go back to www.stopbullying.gov. There's another site called www.dosomething.org. And there's several other ones. And just let somebody know. And for those that are listening, my brothers, my black men, we got to start stepping up. I think Brother Mike said it and Brother Six said it. We got to start stepping up. We got to start taking control of our families and our neighborhoods, and we got to start showing them what it is to be a man. Step up, step up for our kids, the neighborhood kids. Brother Six has probably witnessed this, Mike. You know, stuff happens in this neighborhood. I'm one of the first ones outside. I'm out there with the young men. Hey, we get on away from around here. We don't do that around here. And, you know, one little young man, you know, got into a fight, and the other one got in. I brought the other young man on. I know I'm not his dad, but you know,
right.
I know his dad, and his dad is in the military. And I was like, look, man, you don't get involved in other people's stuff. You get yourself killed like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, Mr. Pat, and I know that I'm not perfect, but I'm saying we got to start somewhere. We got community. I do see the lights blinking a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out with this one. To the listeners out there, to the brothers and the sisters that are being bullied right now as we speak. I think it is our responsibility as parents, as adults, especially Black men in our community. I think, like I said earlier, first we have to educate those on exactly what bullying is and how it looks when it stares at you in the face. And then we have to make those who are in that situation comfortable enough to come to the people that are in their lives to say something to them. So our podcast today, to those that are out there listening, is to get the conversation started about some of the things that we be talking about. And it's just that. When you hear the podcast, you're going to say, oh yeah, I've seen it, I'm living it, I've heard about it. And we want you to talk about it. We want you to go to your parents, we want to go to your uncle, to somebody that you can depend on, because you got a small circle. And if you don't, you will. And that's from wisdom that Mike was talking about. And we're all living it and we're all seeing it. Go to that person, tell them, discuss with them. And if you don't, you have to have some trust in somebody, especially starting with yourself. Look in the mirror, claim you, be you, walk it, talk it, be it. I'm out.
Big Pat, you got anything, brother?
No, I kind of close with my last statement that we got to stand up. We got to stand up and show these young people what right looks like. You know, sometimes you have to be the bad guy. Sometimes, you know, you can't. You got to be an adult, a parent, a mentor. So stand up. Reach out to someone, like Brother Six said. That if you can't reach out to a family member, there's all kind of hotlines and organizations. Just reach out. This is the day and time for anyone that's listening, that's possibly being bullied, or the parent or friend of someone being bullied. This is the day and age where everything is at your fingertips. You know, years ago, you had to line, you had to write a letter, or physically. Everything you want to know is on the internet now. I've said this a lot of times. If there's something you want to know and you don't know it, you just don't want to know it, because you can go on Google or Bing and find out anything you want to find out. Yeah. So the resources are out there. Just reach out to somebody is all I ask.
So we'll say it like this. I say it like this. Let's try to create the safe spaces.
Safe space.
Let's try to let's be the role models. Let's role model what we want in our community. I propose having a moratorium with all organizations, and let's start from the beginning, because sometimes we might have these grand ideas and they all are lofty goals and well thought out goals of doing things like STEM programs, things of that nature. But let's start from scratch. Let's pretend that let's start from scratch. Let's start with the building blocks of just respecting one another. Let's have a year, 2 year long consensus that across the board, we just gonna talk about bullying, respect, caring, protecting our young women, protecting our young men, teaching them these things, and creating a culture within our community of respect and love. And then we can start to do the building blocks for everything else, because if not, we just building on a house of cards. You know what I mean? We're building, we're giving people tools to be things, but they're broken. They're broken inside. And so it's not going to make a difference where they go off and do this. They broke inside. And eventually everything that's in them is going to leak out. You know what I mean? You know, and so it's up to us to save us. It's up to us to save us. You know what I'm saying? I know my brother who passed away, they used to say that it's up to us to save us. He had a whole saying, I'm gonna have to try to figure that out, but it was a dope saying. But at the end of the day, it's really on us. And so with that, one time for everyone, we appreciate you tuning in. Everything that you see all ties in. And if you enjoyed many of the things, I was going to tell you this is what I wanted to say before I go. If you feel like you are being bullied and you don't know where to turn to, this is what I'm gonna do. I got a lot going on, but not enough that I can't continue to try to monitor our comments. And if you reach out and say, hey, I live here, this is going on, try to do my due diligence to figure out where you're at and
get some kind of help to you.
Get some help to you, some resources to you. If you think that you feel like you want to hurt yourself, let me tell you that you're valued, that you love, that you are so unique that there's only one of you. It's only one of you. And what you bring into this world, nobody else can duplicate. Nobody else can do. So we need you to be here as long as you can, to be the best version of yourself. And so if you feel that way, there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of things out there, but if you reach out, I will definitely try to get resources to you, but we want you to be here. You see what I'm saying? We just want you to be here. You know what I mean? You love, and you value, and we need each and every one of you. So with that, love you, brothers.
Love you back,
you know what I'm saying? Peace, salutations to everything. One time for Fat Blood. We love you, and we signing out. Peace.